Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Avarice podcast on the Avarice Trading channel on YouTube. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. It's Devin, Avarice Trading channel, Avarice podcast. Whatever you're absorbing me on, headphones, TV screen, computer monitor, Bluetooth speaker, we are going to be watching I Still Know What You Did Last Summer today. I know what you did last summer again. I kind of remember what happened last night vaguely. I may remember what happened 2 or 3 summers ago still. I may have genetic memory from the past. I still know what you did in the last Extinction event. I still know what Final Jeopardy is. No, I'm fucking around. I still know what you did last summer, so the last commentary I recorded was I know what you did last summer, so it's a natural progression to go with I still know what you did last summer next. So I actually forgot that Mekhi Phifer was even in this. I remembered that Freddie Prinze Jr., Brandy, and of course Jennifer Love Hewitt were in it. Before I get too off course here, anybody who's a repeat listener knows that I start off the show by making myself a cup of coffee in my Keurig here. Then I stroll over, I take a pull off of the old water pipe, trusty bong, smoke some of the devil's cabbage. I encourage you to do that along with me if you want to. I'm not trying to glorify it or pressure you into it. Of course, that's assuming that it's legal where you are. I live in Oregon, it's legal here. Anyway, after that, I'll cue the movie. We'll start watching. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1 play to let you know if you're going to watch along, where to cue it up at. Otherwise, you can just listen along in the audio-only form. Of course, if you're listening to the podcast, it's easier to do that. If you're on YouTube, minimize it, whatever you want. I always take some shots of the movie and put them up throughout the playback of the audio so it doesn't get too mundane and boring. At least there's some still images of the movie that maybe you can look at and think about while I'm talking. Excuse me. But it definitely isn't rich in the video side. So again, I'm getting off course. I'm going to go ahead and start that cup of coffee so that we can get progressing with this shindig. So I Still Know What You Did Last Summer came out in 98. So that's only a year after the first one. And I think that a problem with a lot of sequels is just that they rush them out. I don't know why they think that's necessary to do. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. It seems like they're worried that the interest in horror, the horror audience, or at least the casual horror audience, is going to dissipate over time. But they're exponentially increasing that by coming out with these subpar movies so rapid fire, instead of giving themselves a chance to come up with some risk-taking original ideas, some thought-provoking stuff, and not just tread over the same ground over and over and over again. I'm sure you hear my dog drinking water in the background. As soon as she hears me talking, she comes up with a way to interfere. It's pretty funny, actually. Got the candles lit, about ready to start this shit. Coffee's on the pot. Pot's in the bowl. Let's get ready to roll. Coffee's not quite ready yet. My dog can drink water like nobody's fucking business. She drinks water for like 30 seconds straight. It's not like she's deprived of it. It's out all day long, but yet somehow she manages. I'm gonna have to give her more. That's why you guys probably hear running water. Real professional, high quality shit you're getting right now. I'm sorry. I didn't anticipate her coming out and drinking almost her entire water dish while in one gulp. So now I'm going to go ahead and preemptively feed her, since that's the only other issue she could have while I'm recording. And then we'll have all our bases covered, right? Instead of getting upset every time these issues come about. Just head them off. Handle them first. I know, I love you, but you're just annoying sometimes. I know, yeah. If you haven't heard me talk about her before, I've got a pit bull named Mary Jane. She's about 60 pounds. She's 9 or 10 years old. I can never remember how old she is. I'm terrible at that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the increase in information I'm expected to store in my head, or if I actually was just functioned higher cognitively when I was younger. But I could remember shit so well when I was young. I remembered everybody's birthday, how old they were, all that bullshit. I could watch a football game and I'd remember stats and I could pull, like, and now seems like that shit just goes in and out, or a bunch of the older stuff falls right off the shelf. So I don't know if that's my mental ability diminishing or just a lack of hard drive space, and so some shit's got to be marked for overwrite. You be the judge. Maybe it's both. I'm only 31, but I have had a few issues of head trauma in my life. I don't think that I have any problems from it, but does anybody ever think they have problems from it? Anyway, I'm now sitting down at the table. I'm actually going to shut off the light, because that's how I get down. This is how I live. And fuck, I left the controller over here. I'm a hot mess to start this off. Anyway, all things can be made right by some purple sticky punch. Alright, I'm gonna take a pull off this right now. Wave the acre. How much does it weigh? I don't know, I forgot. You forgot? I saw that in a movie once. You keep on knocking, but you can't come in. That is one of the all-time stoner movies. I wonder if anybody's done an Up in Smoke commentary. I would totally be down to do that. Of course, you have to get higher than draft pussy when you do it, but you gotta get higher than the Tesla Roadster. But that would be fun. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, we've taken our inaugural hit, and I'm not gonna cap it off with one more. Fuck it. I had what felt like the beginnings of a chest cold yesterday, and then I woke up this morning and it was gone, but I had kind of an ear-throat thing going on, and now it doesn't feel so much like I have that anymore either. Excuse me. It's a bit confusing, kind of just cycled right through my system, it feels like. But I didn't take anything. I wanted to take some Dayquil earlier, but I couldn't find any. Alright, I am getting ready to start the movie. So I'm starting in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, my stuff's buffering. Okay, now it's coming on. Now it's begun. I'm sorry guys, that was probably like a 5-second delay between when I pushed it and it actually started. Sometimes the PS4 is sitting for a second. I don't know if it like loses its internet connection or it just, I don't know what it does, but it took it a second to figure out what I wanted it to do there. This seems really loud. Well, it's what I normally record at. We'll see how she goes. So this is still Mandalay Entertainment, which is expected. It's funny how back when we had physical copies of movies, how your collection would be kind of so scattershot and incomplete. A lot of times the movies were gifts or something you saw on sale or the previously viewed section in the video store. So I owned this, and like I owned Scream 2, but I didn't own Scream 1. So I think I've actually seen this one many more times than I've seen the original. Excuse me, just because somebody got it for me for as a gift or something like that back in the VHS days. But I have not seen it in, this is no bullshit, I would guess I haven't seen this movie in 15 years. At least 10. There's Jennifer Love Hewitt, still cute as fuck. Like, if I had to make a dream team of, like, prime women that are right up my alley, her in this era has got to be one of them, I think. Sometimes I refer to her as Jennifer Love Huge Tits. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's a joke from another movie. I think that it's actually from Not Another Teen Movie, where they get a girl who looks very similar to her to play, like, her role in the Can't Hardly Wait scenes. So the last movie ended with the kind of shower scene and the I Still Know written in the fog and him diving out at her, which was, I guess, a dream sequence because we're not going to address it at the beginning of this one. Right off the bat, I had to start talking about how cute she is. I can't help myself. I'm probably going to get hated on for it. But you can't deny it. Is it so bad to say someone's cute? From that last view through the little window thing, it looked like the guy in there was wearing a slicker. So she's in a confessional, confessing her sins. I haven't been entirely listening, but I suppose she's probably confessing to hitting him with the car and him coming back and trying to kill her. Ben Willis, that's his name. I gotta remember that. I did the last commentary, I didn't know his name. I did a 45-minute review on the fucking thing, I couldn't remember his name. Seems pretty quiet.
You know? How could you?
It is him. Yeah.
I know what you did last summer.
It's not last summer anymore. It's a few summers ago, I think.
Nice to see you find political science.
That's the worst. I remember one time I was asleep in my English class, and I had a dream. Do you guys ever oversleep and your parents would burst into your room and wake you up because you were late, and you get that fucking heart jumping out of your chest anxiety feeling? So I'm asleep at my desk, and in my I have a daydream that my dad is bursting into my room because I'm late. Like, my dad would open my bedroom door in such a way that the noise and wind that it produced would wake me up. He wouldn't even have to say anything. It was just the noise made by the actual door opening would wake me up. So I'm a super realistic dream of this while I'm asleep in my classroom, and I sat up, and I think I yelped. I don't know what I did, but it was very obvious that I had been asleep.
It was 1 year ago.
It's the anniversary. That's what it is. We just have to keep things out.
Yeah, well, I'm really trying.
So
Sometimes I wonder why I didn't come up here in the first place.
we're completely ignoring the ending of the last one, because the last one, excuse me, wrapped up with her in that shower scene, and it was supposed to be a year after the killing spree. So it was spanning essentially a full 2-year span from the initial car accident. Then a year later was the actual murder spree where he came after her and her friends, Freddie Prinze Jr., Ryan Phillippe, Sarah Michelle Gellar. And then a year after that was supposed to be that shower scene where she's back, her skin has its pigment back, she looks all cute again, she looks like she's happy, and the I Still Know is on the shower door. So if that were true, that would have happened in this exact point in time right now. So I guess they were just erasing that 1 year later part off the board, which is not unheard of in movies, but I just don't like it when they do that. It is not impossible to leave the movie open-ended and not write yourself into a corner. The movie could have ended with the "I still know" written on the glass, and him not. Maybe it was a nightmare. I don't fucking know. They don't address it.
It's not you. Okay, it is not you. It's all me in my head. You know, I want to go back. I want to be fine. I want.
So she's still pretty fucked up by it. But so she doesn't want to go back to their hometown. He has to work. And she ends up going on a vacation that her roommate wins on the radio, I believe. They're still struggling with their relationship. She's closed off and he doesn't get it. She keeps up her appearance very well for somebody who's fucked up in the head, supposedly. There you go. I like that. We got some mace. We got additional locks. Do we have any additional precautions? Just put a metal detector. He's going to have a real hook hand now. If you didn't listen to my last commentary, I presented the idea that they make hook hands with fingerprints on them. Oh, or at least I asked if they did. She's gonna probably put on a pair of sweatpants and sit down and watch Friends and eat her chips. If I had to guess. That's a picture of Sarah Michelle Gellar, her friend killed in the last movie, if you didn't know. Who took that picture? That's towards the end of the movie when she's riding on the float. Ooh la la. Maybe don't wear a bra next time. No, not you. You. Yeah. Oh shit. So, we're left not knowing if the killer survived or not in the last movie. Excuse me. For those of you just listening, her apartment door just closed. She just dug a kitchen knife out of her bedside table, which I like, and now she's patrolling the house with it. I think that a great album title would be Knife Block on the Nightstand, or you just shorten it to Nightstand Knife Block. Excuse me. Could even be a band name. We are Nightstand Knife Block. I just came to the revelation one day that we all keep these fucking knife blocks in our kitchen. We're in our bedrooms. If somebody breaks into our house, they have to walk by this block of wood with a bunch of murderous implements stuck into it. And they could just, it's theirs for the taking. They could just pick and choose. So I was like, why don't we have the knife block on the fucking nightstand? So if I wake up in the middle of the night, I just got knives right there. Seems like the best place to have them. Granted, it's not convenient for the kitchen, but maybe you just make a habit to take your knife block to bed with you every night. Like, you know, brush your teeth, do your mouthwash, wash your face, put your lotion on, whatever it is the fuck you do. And then, you know, take your knife block and put it on a rice bag on the nightstand. Maybe on a doily. Maybe you want to put a Crown Royal sack under that bitch. Maybe your favorite handkerchief. But I think it is really a more optimal, practical place to keep it. What show did she end up being on? Was it Ghost Whisperer or something? I never watched that shit. Didn't seem like it was my cup of tea. So this is Brandy. She became a star when she was very young, I believe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she was really young when she became a star. She was like a singer and did a little bit of acting. I don't think she does a damn thing anymore. I don't know what happened to her. She kind of fell off the face of the planet. But I was kind of, if I wasn't in their age bracket, I was almost in their target market. I think I was probably, this was made when I was 11. By the time I got to see it, I was probably 12 or 13. So that's really who they're aiming for the most part, is the young adults and teens. And I know that she was famous as fuck to people my age and older than me at this time. Is that hot pink lipstick? The hair teased? You look like a throwback to the 80s. We got Mekhi Phifer here. Pre 8 Mile Eminem. He's a really, I won't go so far to say he's a really good actor. I haven't paid enough attention, but he's a pretty good actor. He's in a movie about drug dealers called Paid in Full, where he's great. God damn, she looks hot. Is he speaking in rhymes? I do that all the time. My people? God damn, I'm sorry guys. He's got the machismo flowing like a motherfucker. He's on it. What do you think about her like weird extension braids look she's got going? Doesn't it just look really obviously like fake hair? I don't know. I just don't dig it. It looks like... God damn it. I apologize, you guys. Something, phlegm just got stuck in my throat or something. Anyway, it looks like, you know those kind of like 60s beaded things that you hang in doorways that you walk through? You know, Dane Cook says you can't slam beads. That's what her hair looks like to me. Oh shit, there's a slicker up there. She's gotta be hallucinating this. How would a guy with a slicker get into this fucking nightclub? Did he have it in his backpack? Because there's no way that's actually her hair, right? Those braids are so thin and long. That's what she said. Yo, can I have this? There you go. Get into the open space and stand, but you gotta look in all directions. I'm still not buying that this is actually happening. This guy would not get into the club wearing that outfit. But why? She can't hallucinate what's behind her. Can't, I mean... Or is that what her imagination is telling her? I don't know. There's just no way he was in there. That's not plausible to me. That a guy in a slicker is going to get into this dance club. I don't know if that motherfucker was dressed in his Sunday best if they let him in. As old and raggedy as he looks, he's haggard as a motherfucker. I like that dress shirt. Is that just pajamas, or are you full on? Are you just wearing a dress shirt? It's good. Shout out to Halloween 6, where the dad goes and finds the body, or the laundry, it's all bloody, but it's actually her shoes in the dryer. That's setting up something for later. Damn, how many pairs they got in there? Badass tube TV. That's top of the line then. Not very many people had anything much nicer than what you see right there. It's incredible to think about how, how small the TVs were back then. Or, it's not really incredible to think about that. It's incredible to think about how big they got, how quick, and how common it became to have a huge ass TV in your living room. We thought we were the hot shit when I was a kid because we got a 35-inch tube TV, and it weighed 1,000,000 pounds. It was hard to get through doorways and up staircases. It was a big pain in the ass. Meanwhile, this TV I'm watching on right now is a 58-inch, and I carried it and mounted it by myself. She just guessed the capital of Brazil, and she was wrong. Any geography buffs know that immediately, but she gets told that it's correct because it's all a big hoax. But you have to catch that. If you don't catch that, then you're going along with the hoax. So I know that most people who watch this didn't catch it. But for the people who did, it kind of ruins the movie. Or does it? Because we know that she's getting chased and the killer's after her anyway. But you know that the whole reason that they're going on this trip is bullshit. Because she answered wrong. So it's a setup. That guy's hilarious. I love his character in The Perfect Storm, Bugsy.
Carla just won a trip to the Bahamas. This island called Tower Bay.
The Bahamas, that's where they're going. At least Freddie Prinze Jr. got a haircut. His hair was out of control in the last one. It was like 3 times the length of this. The exact same style, but just 3 times the length. It looked like he stuck his finger in an electrical socket in a freezer. The electricity shocked his hair up and then his fucking froze in place.
Southport, and God, it's the Bahamas. You know, free. Yeah, we have to sell his ass in the Bahamas.
I wonder what kind of position he's in to, like, what if he just straight up can't afford to take the time off work?
It's been crazy. I think we gotta go back out again tonight. I don't think I can make it up.
Look at those vintage Nikes. Woo-wee.
Yeah, I'll try, but listen.
He's under-promising and over-delivering here. He knows that he's gonna make it, but he's making it seem like he can't. So that when he does show up, she's gonna be that much more happy to see him. You see what he's doing here, guys? This is how you play it. You don't promise you're gonna make it when there's a possibility you can't. You say you'll try, but you doubt it when you're pretty sure you can. And then you have a little bit of room for error. And when you show up, she's not expecting you, and she is at least 25 to 50% more happier to see you than she would have been. Now that he's hung up, his friend's like, "You're a fucking idiot. You should have told her you could go." So it wasn't on purpose, but it's effectively the same as the strategy I just proposed. Oh, speaking of proposed, I did not know that was going to happen. Look at that timing.
Think about it. Nice bed, huh? Yeah. Listen, I should call Julie back. Tell her I'm coming. On the way, man.
Here I go again on my own. When I see these two together, that's all I can think of.
All right, clean up.
You guys have the cleanest teeth for dock workers I've ever seen. Oh, they're not dock workers, they're fishermen, but
Yeah, but nothing. Where are we going? In the Bahamas.
are there really fishermen that are as pretty as Freddie Prinze Jr. and Mark Wahlberg? If so, let's get those motherfuckers on a reality show. This is what I think of whenever I see them with each other. Road I've ever known. Like a twister, I was born to walk alone. But I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again Sorry, I couldn't resist myself. You like it, you love it, you need it. Oh, the classic setup. I like that classic Ford truck to go along with this classic setup scene. The body in the BMW.
What are you doing, man?
Why'd you have to park so far away? You could have approached from the safety of your vehicle. The only problem is it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with the car. When you approach a scene like this, you're in total shock, right? He's got a little bit of bacon neck on that collar. So maybe he's not noticing, but it looks like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that car. That would be the first red flag to me. And then the motherfucker's wearing a slicker. Come on, bro. You're not the least bit suspicious. You don't have a screwdriver or a bat or anything. Your shirt's not even buttoned. That's going to catch wind when you try to run. It's not even a real body. Oh, Jesus. Your friend's fucked. Jimmy! Dave, whatever. Dick, Tom, Harry! Oof. Through the mouth. He got him with that mandible claw. With the actual claw. I didn't catch. Was it a dude holding a hook, or does he just have a hook attached? Because that'll differentiate if it's the same killer or not. Right? Homeboy got his hand ripped off. He's got his regular hand steering. So whatever the hook hand is, regular hand, left hand. So if he does in fact have a right hand, it's not the same guy. Ooh, Chris Farley tumbled down the hill. He's out cold from tumbling down that hill. That's a nice leather bag.
You left him 4 messages. 4 messages. He said he'd try. Tries like
Man, the way that they decide to do their hair, makeup, and dress them really makes a difference in how old they look. This is only a year later, but Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt look a few years older. And not in a bad way. They just look more mature. And a lot of it's like, look how she's dressed. She just is dressed more like a woman. Damn, look at that Bronco. Woo! Drip, drip, son. That fucking goofball. I'm assuming anybody who's listening to the commentary on I Still Know What You Did Last Summer has seen the movie or doesn't give a shit. Homeboy right there, the white dude, he's the killer. I believe that he is Ben Willis's son. I recalled that shit. I remembered it. Woohoo! I just, for some reason, it works if I remember Ben Wallace and then I switch the Wallace to Willis. Then I'm good. So Ben Willis's son, I believe, is what the story is. I don't recall if Ben Willis is there also or not. That's why I keep trying to notice if the guy has the hand. Because I suppose it's plausible that he could have murdered that dude and fucked up Freddie Prinze Jr. last night and then made it to this plane in the morning. Or it could have been his dad there and he's here.
you would have a better chance of getting hit by lightning.
It's hard to imagine that if your dad was Ben Willis, the serial killer, you would have a very good relationship with him.
Just can't fly.
Some folks just can't swim either. Oh shit. Payback's a bitch, ain't it? Indeed. Oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to be in a place where if the ocean is too rough, I can't leave. As Harrison Ford says in 6 Days, 7 Nights, it's an island, babe. If you don't bring it here, you won't find it here. And that's the truth about the matter. If they don't have resources on that island, like natural resources there that are local, and there's a fucking whatever kind of storm and nothing can get in, you guys are fucked. They rely on stuff to be imported.
My name is Daddy, and I will be at your service for the duration of your stay, ladies. Duration of your stay, ladies. No, man, I gotta work fast.
Homeboy's faking the accent. Come on. I think this has the fucking... I think Jack Black is in this as a white Rastafarian dude. I'm not mistaken. We weren't quite into hardcore thong culture yet. Thong culture. I don't think the thong song had been out yet, and it wasn't as common for bathing suits and women's underwear to be thongs back then. Now, it seems odd if it's not. There's Jack Black, the fucking... I always thought this character is ridiculous, but I kind of love it now that I'm seeing it again. It's a perfect Jack Black role. Like... And you go like, this guy is ridiculous, but you know that this guy exists out there. There's definitely a guy like this out there. There's a few of them. Ooh, damn. Okay then. And one thing about Jennifer Love Hewitt is she's got the booty. That girl doesn't. That's a flat ass if I've ever seen one. But Jennifer Love Hewitt, look at that. Whoop, you saw it. I know you saw it. I saw you looking. Don't worry. I won't tell anybody. This place looks dope. I want to go to there. That ceiling, though. I almost said that roof. There's a piano. I always wanted to learn how to play the piano and shit, but I never know when to take the time out to do it. I don't have a lot of time that I would determine to be free or extra. I bought a guitar at a yard sale. It's been sitting in my bedroom for 2 years, and I still haven't even tried to play it. I've always wanted to learn, but I just... Maybe someday, right? When I can finally quit delivering newspapers. And I can make podcasts more than 2 days a week. Pump out content for you guys. And learn how to play the guitar for myself.
Not really. Found pieces of guys like you and Stuart. Got a problem with something? I don't have a problem in the world, though.
This guy's giving off racist vibes. He said that his dog eats, or he finds pieces of people like Mekhi Phifer in his dog's shit.
Okay, we understand, we get it, it's all. It'll outlive you, I'm sure.
Wow, what a condescending douche.
Oh, sorry.
He seemed very upset for no reason. He's one of these fucking...
You're in 201 and 202.
Oh no.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Those are the honeymoon suites.
You're what?
That's beautiful.
I think if you kids haven't exchanged vows, have you?
We haven't exchanged anything.
Oh, wait. Please. Are we fine?
During your stay, our marginally trained off-season staff.
This guy looks like Ed Hockley, the NFL referee.
Storm season begins today. Clouds roll down the clock.
Storm season.
Yes, it's our version.
So this is a fairly strong core or the pieces that you have to build the sequel off of are fairly strong. I don't know for a fact how successful the first one was, but here you've got Jennifer Love Hewitt returning as the final girl. You've got Freddie Prinze Jr. returning. And you have the killer, at least in thought, returning. I'm not sure it's the same guy at this point, but we don't know for a fact he died. So they're playing with the idea that it's probably him. So that's a lot of consistency. And you're putting them in a different location, so a lot of stuff can be fresh.
And what did you have to do?
Guess the capital of Brazil.
Rio, baby.
See, that dude, I don't know what he's called. Is he a bellboy or he's not a butler? The guy who works at the hotel, this old black dude, he knows that the capital's not Rio de Janeiro. He knew it right then. And they're in these honeymoon suites, which I think have some kind of a horrific history. Some kind of a crime or murder was committed there. So he knows something's up because they're being set up. That wasn't the correct answer to the question, and they're in these two rooms. Some fuckery afoot.
Pretty beat up.
Damn, he's actually in the hospital. I thought he just got knocked out.
Somebody named Ben Willis. He said this Willis guy had a hook on his hand and was driving a BMW.
Look, there's no body.
Sounds like Harrison Ford in The Fugitive.
He fell asleep at the wheel. He crashed his truck into an on-guard rail. He got thrown a hell of a long way.
This knockoff George Clooney.
He suffered severe head trauma.
I'll have 3 arrests up. And probably all.
George Costanza's brother. The Cabbage Patch Kid.
Number 3 just flatlined.
Cabbage Patch Adult. Look at that Cabbage Patch Adult.
Get me some help up here. I've got a flatline room 3.
Oh, he jumped ship. It's a fairly realistic looking hospital, though. Gotta appreciate that. Looks like they actually filmed in a hospital. I suppose it's easier to do when you just have to show one desk in a hospital room. You don't have anybody getting killed in there or anything like that.
Empty?
The door's locked.
Oh wow. He moved in.
Oh, I didn't know she was in this.
Please just tell me this isn't the boss.
Want a drink?
So, I don't know if they've addressed it or not yet, but it's the stormy season. Their version of winter. So, it's slow. There's almost nobody there.
Swing. How about my motherfucking tie? My motherfucking tie. Yeah.
How about some of that? Kidding.
The guy at the desk.
So, when I was a kid, I didn't know what a Mai Tai was. So when they said my motherfucking tie, I thought they were actually talking about like a necktie. I thought the drink was named after a necktie. Thought it was called my motherfucking tie, like a literal tie. Not a Mai Tai with fucking thrown in the middle. They said, how about a my motherfucking tie? And she said, how about you suck my dick? And they both looked at her befuddled.
What you boys want is a dark and stormy. Her name's Round.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll take a dark and stormy. That looks like you. You could be dark and stormy.
Am I bad? I mean, he's really great, right? And kind of cute. Yes, he is cute. He has a crush on me. but I miss Ray. I really do. You know, I tried to call him. You know what, Julie? Ray made up his own mind, so I made you free to make up yours. So for the next 48 hours, your smile is a frown turned upside down. Oh, really?
This trip is all about trying to cheer her up and make her forget, but it's also all a setup to not make her forget because he still knows what she did summer before last. He knows what she did 24 months ago.
Well, welcome to South Bay's most happening now.
Here's the thing about hitting on girls, especially at a bar. This isn't a normal situation because they all know each other, but you're creepy or it's bordering on harassment if she doesn't like you. But if she does like you, you can say the exact same things to her in the exact same situation and it'll be fine. It's this weird line. Like literally, the lines that work on a girl that's interested in you are the same ones that you'll get the beatbox for and get shit thrown back in your face if the girl isn't interested in you. So that's why if it seems like guys go up and just try their hand with all these girls, it's kind of what they're doing, because it really is the same shit can be said to one or the other, and you get two different results. That was a tangent. They's about to do karaoke. Croaky. There's no way you guys are drunk enough for this. Of course, it's gonna be I Will Survive. Everybody has to sing I Will Survive at fucking karaoke. Thinking how you let me wrong and I grew strong. And I learned how to get along, and now you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. Sorry. They're just playing a bunch of songs that I want to sing along to. One thing that tends to happen in sequels is they have a lot of the beats and a lot of like the core pieces like I was just talking about there, but they seem more empty. There's just not as much. Oh, the karaoke screen said I still know what you did last summer, and she's the only one who saw it. Which is, again, not very realistic. How the fuck would he be able to hack into that system and do that? So she's wondering if she's going crazy at this point. And she's flown all this way, and she's still having the same type of visions and the same type of issues. And there's a note on the table addressed to her with the same penmanship as the one she received in the last movie. So what I meant by sequels feel empty is just a lot of the dialogue and stuff like that seems to have less meaning. It's just filler. There's a lot more filler in sequels. Let's see what this is. Oh. So the first time you watch this, you think he's just an innocent guy, and of course she feels guilty. He did this awesome surprise, and she's freaked out and made him drop the... But he actually is Ben's son, so this is all a setup, and he's kind of fucking with her for his own pleasure. He scared the shit out of her there on purpose. That's in these two movies, the first one and this one, the killer, he likes toying with them a bit. He is like a cat with his prey. He hits Ryan Phillippe with the car and breaks his arm and shit, but then leaves him. He goes to the hospital and recovers, and then he kills him later. He walks into Sarah Michelle Gellar's house and cuts her hair off while she's sleeping, and then just leaves. Lets her freak out about it, kills her the next day. He enjoys occupying space inside their mind and tormenting them a bit. Which has clearly worked with her. I mean, if the son's been keeping tabs on her, she's been fucked up the whole time. At least partially. What is going on here? Take it, Brandon. Take it, Brandon. What? I mean, Brandon. She just looked at the ceiling when she was talking about how big the bed is. You don't have to work on Wall Street to afford a big-ass bed. My bed was less than $2,000, and it's a king. And it's a decent, I mean, it's a good bed. It's not like a bullshit. Compare that to like a fucking brand new car. You could buy all the beds. I would buy all the beds. Have a king-size bed is still not big enough once you put a wife and a dog in there. Sometimes the kid wakes up in the middle of the night and tries to crawl in there, and it's like, Jesus, should we just cover the whole floor with mattresses so I can get some space to sleep? Those are the good moments. Also because I sleep with a fan blowing on me 365 days a year. So if all of a sudden there becomes a shortage of coverage, I freeze my ass off very quickly. Short coverage, he outkicked it. Oh man, I think the Jack Black role is something that you have to be an adult to appreciate. Or maybe, I don't know, I'm just goofy now. It's not one of his more memorable roles, but it's just, it's so Jack Black to just take this off the wall fucking white Rastafarian guy role. The It's like he's the brother from OC, from Orange County, but he got braids or dreads and shaved. And stopped taking pills and just started smoking a bunch of weed. Mom, did you give Bob his pills? He's fine. So now we're gonna have our first kill on the island. This is this accent faking motherfucker. That's just a straight up hook hand, huh? Okay, so he lived. They're gonna be operating in tandem in this. Okay, I'm seeing where they're going here. I see how the ideas are in place to make this a good movie. The consistency of the final girl and Freddie Prinze Jr. Two crucial pieces. We have a returning killer that's different from Scream. And then we're going to have the twist at the end that his son is involved, which might be what ruins it, let's be honest. Because you start getting into far-fetched territory when every single horror movie that's not based in the supernatural world has to somehow connect it to the family and deep, long-lost family members. It makes you look at Scream 3 with less respect, though, because they start doing like this long-lost brother-son kind of thing that feels very similar to this. And it's hard to develop a quality script. I don't know. I've never written. I think if you write on like a TV or show or something, you can probably pump it out quicker, especially if it's some 2.5 men, quick quips, generic scene bullshit. But if you want awesome movies, I feel like those scripts just take time. You could probably write it quickly, but you need to let it settle and really run through it in your head and how it plays out and picture how that's going to look and see if it jives and rework it and rework it. If you want it to be worthy of yet another sequel after that. And in this era, they seem too concerned with just rushing him out. And another thing that sequels have an issue with, Oh, now the cleaning lady's dead. He's on a rampage in this one. So that's the sequel rule. Higher body count, right? More gore. See Randy in Scream 2 for an explanation. As I was saying, though, a problem with sequels, an inherent problem, is when you have a movie like Scream, it makes an impact and it's truly revolutionary and novel and fresh and unique because it takes a risk. It's willing to step out into an area that nobody's occupying and plant a flag and say, this is what we're doing, and see if anybody follows. And then when they have success doing that, everybody else who was kind of hanging around at the same border moves up to follow them. And the area where all that risk was, the available risk, and then on the other side of the coin, available opportunity, that's all gone now because that risk has been taken. Everything in the distance in between is fair game and not passe, but on its way there. So once they have the opportunity for a sequel, they don't want to fuck up what they already have going, so they're not as willing to take a risk and step beyond that even farther, it seems. They want to play it safe and protect their investment, so to speak, and their cash cow, and just pump out another one. It's kind of the battle of the artistic part of movies and wanting to create a quality movie versus the business side and just want it, just dollars and cents and profit margins. Cockblocking 101 right here. Fucking Beefsteak Charlie. Making some nutbag tea. He's so pissed right now. They got like this whole resort to himself. He's making out with his girl, candlelit hot tub. This white boy just comes and plops his ass down in the middle of the party and seems totally oblivious to the fact that he's ruining it. Like, that's the one thing about truly prolific cock blockers. They're habitual line steppers, to quote Charlie Murphy, and they never seem to realize it, though. That's the key factor. Man, she's got on that white bathrobe, and it's soaking wet, and there's just... you can see the nipples. You can see them. Why you gotta be so mean? I'm not so sure about this one, but they don't really go nudity and try to play off the sexy factor as very much. This one they haven't really so far, but in this they definitely are with the wet white fucking bathrobe. And then titties. Like, she's just fucking undeniably cute. Like, the way that Shaquille O'Neal is undeniably big. No homo. That embroidery on the chest is ruining it. These are nice lighting fixtures. You get this at Lamps Plus. Some kind of jump scare, something's gonna happen. I haven't seen this in so long, I don't remember the finer points. Oh, he's in there. Kobe time over there. Did I leave the oven on? What am I gonna wear tomorrow? Yeah, but do I have shoes that match that? I'm gonna have to iron. I don't want to iron. Do I have time to make myself breakfast? I'll just stop and buy something. What about lunch? Fuck, I'll buy something for lunch at the same time. Means I'm gonna have to get up 15 minutes earlier. And I already took a shower. God damn it, I gotta blow dry my hair and go to bed. First, I just gotta feed the chinchilla in the closet. Pacow! There's blood dripping on the floor. Ooh. The shit is on now. Shit just got real. She knows what's up. She knows that death has come to your small town, Sheriff. This is... I know that it adds to the creepy factor. The, like, but it's a tad bit supernatural, and no other elements of this are really supernatural. The way he makes the bodies and crime scenes just disappear, like he did with the body and the crabs in the back of the car in the last one. I go, yeah, fucking right. Like, I don't need the disappearing body elements. But you can't start finding bodies unless you're gonna have like your final, the final countdown. Because if she finds that body and everybody else finds it, then they all know the shit is on, and it's like full panic mode, and that you have to have your countdown towards the end from that point. The balls started rolling down the hill. So for her finding the stuff, the body, and then it disappearing allows you to string the story on a little bit farther before everybody realizes what's going on.
That's not possible. I'm afraid the last ferry left a couple hours ago, and there won't be another one for days. We have a storm coming.
Fuck that. I don't care how nice this place is. I don't want to be deserted here. No phones, pre-internet.
Now listen up.
This guy is a cocksucker and a half.
What about
He's doing a great job.
What the hell would you call this?
It's almost of the quality of Forsyth in Halloween 2. Take that, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. Take that damn thing off. You could have had that actor play this role and it would have been great too. But this guy's doing fine. Don't mean to take work away from anybody. What's that Hispanic chick's name? The bartender. I can't think of it off the top of my head. The storm is moving in. Riders on the storm. Into this life we're born. Into this world we're thrown. I think I got that backwards or something, but I made it work. This guy's got candles burning in bongs. How is that not a bong? It looks exactly like a bong, but he stuffed a candle in it. He's into some voodoo shit, burning toothbrushes and stuff. He's about to sacrifice a chicken or something. Serrano says he's gonna sacrifice a live chicken before the game.
Y'all grew it up good. Y'all grew it up for real.
He's got the stuff inside, but they're in the Bahamas. Isn't weed legal in the Bahamas? Excuse me. He's just trying to keep people from stealing his shit.
Now where you at? Come to Papa.
Damn. That's a big piece. That's what she said. You want to put that in me? How you can just touch it? You start there. Buzzkill.
Can I help you?
Oh. The angle that you would have to swing at to knock his hand into the table that way. You'd have to be really low to the ground. He's standing too straight up for that to play right. Because of the curve of the hook. Yes, pick up a different weapon. We need a change up. Does he shove this down his throat or something? Get some! Yo. Right in the space above his chest plate and his throat. Stabbing down with the gardening shears. Or pruners. The big pair of scissors that you use to cut bushes. Bobby from Sons of Anarchy. He still hadn't quite... His hair and beard hadn't quite grown into his body yet at this point. He's pawning the engagement ring and he's going to get a gun. He's prepared to handle this business. That's a full fucking carrot.
Tell you the truth, I don't have much of a market for this kind of thing. Best I can do is 2, maybe 250.
Make it 300.
$300 for a 1 carat diamond ring. Plus a gun.
Crazy boy. It's worth $300 too. And there's a waiting period. Not waiting. She'll keep the ring and give me the gun.
You're all beat to hell, your arm's in a sling, and you're desperately seeking a gun immediately. These are red flags all over the place. If this guy gives this to you, he's a piece of shit. Regardless of what situation you're actually in, all the red flags are popping up right now.
Is you loaded? No. Loaded.
Because I don't know how. I fish. I don't shoot. See, this is what happens to me. See how she is? This is... I suppose it's... I don't know if I'd rather be Mekhi Phifer or where she is. But I'd probably rather have my space on the outside.
Baby, I bet you, this is bullshit. She ain't the romantic weekend I had in mind, eh?
She looks like she smells good.
You want any slaves?
Yeah, some.
Wow, look at that. Another beautiful day.
Like lavender.
With Julie as our tour director. This psychotic episode. Hey, Julie.
This is the era of low-rise jeans and spaghetti straps all over the place.
Shut up, Ty.
Damn, Brandy got booty.
Or Jason or somebody. You leave her alone.
Ooh, we're gonna talk about Freddie and Jason now.
It's bad enough getting Randy out without having to hold my hand the whole damn time.
I think that this killer is most similar to Michael.
It's okay.
At least the fashion of the stalking and the kills.
Sorry, you think I'm crazy.
But you have the added element of communicating,
Is it okay?
usually via writing.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you guys go find yourself some food?
Baby, I don't want to do nothing with him. I want to do something with you.
We go to the gym to work off some of that stress.
Until this scene, I did not realize how donkalicious Brandy was. She's got going on. At least from a booty aspect.
Find Stoner Boy. Make his stupid ass hook us up with some ping pong paddles, some pool
You know
sticks or
what?
something.
The greenhouse effect is stuff that Gulf Stream shit. And almost every meteorological expert expects some dramatic increase in tropical depression, which cause hurricanes.
Did he plan? He must have planned this trip for them to be there during the stormy season. I wonder if he knew this specific storm was supposed to hit, so they'd be stuck there. Part of his diabolical plan for the ultimate murder. Fuck, I'd be in there. Be hitting that heavy bag. Oh, that's all right. You need to step into it a little bit more with your front foot so that you don't have to twist your body so far. And you're leaving your face wide open. You're gonna run in those booty shorts and a wet sweatshirt. Yeah, I guess get your warm up on. One of you is wearing a sports bra and pants. The other one's wearing booty shorts and a sweatshirt. You almost have a full outfit. Or between the two of you, you do have a full outfit. You can't even run on the treadmill? You're so depressed? A tan? Oh, is there a tanning bed?
Wow. Cancer in a box.
This is the safe side.
Get off your soapbox.
Come on, Julie. It's better than a day on the beach, girl.
Sit on your vagina box, naked in a tanning bed.
Here we go. With a little photosynthesis, you will film.
Houseplant.
One toasted box and a toasting box coming up. They're really playing more into the sexy factor in this movie than they did in the last one. Oh, come on now. I'm trying not to talk about how hot she is as much, and they just keep making me look. I'm pretty sure I know how this is coming off. I can't help it. Just calling it like I see it. She's got that vintage yellow Walkman. I think that was the tape player version. That was old school even for this time. Damn near everybody had a CD player Walkman by now. Not that yellow one though. That one still has a market. People want that classic yellow Walkman. So this is the callback to the earlier scene where she had her shoes in the dryer. which is not a great idea. Your shoes are not going to last very long if you expose them to that kind of fucking heat. They're going to delaminate and probably shrink and get misshapen. When I clean shoes for reselling, I either take like a magic eraser or a brush and some soft scrub to them, scrub the shit out of them, rinse them out good, set them on a towel in front of the heating vent on the floor, or if it's nice outside, set them in the sun or in front of a window when it's sunny. They'll dry up. You just got to make sure they dry fairly quickly, because if they're white, they'll get like these brown water spots on them. I was talking over so she walked up and said, damn, how many pairs they got in there, thinking they were shoes, because that's what she's used to, making that noise, and she found a dead body in there. So now somebody besides Jennifer Love Hewitt knows what's up, and now they know. So now everything's set in motion for the final chase down. Oh fuck, this is a helpless feeling. She's not feeling it yet, but she will. It's gonna feel the thunder. That's a crooked dick, though. Oh, shit. That's a good idea. Zip tying the tanning bed shut and turning the timer up. It's gonna fry her. I wonder how... You'd have to try to grab onto the outer edge, because if you push up too much on the direct center, you're gonna like bust through that plastic and get into the light bulbs. It'd be hard to break that shit open. There you go, solid scream. How are you locked in there? I'm confused. Here's your man to the rescue. So like I said before, there's some good scenes in this. This could have, the ante in this could have been upped a little bit more. Her being locked in the tanning bed. Because at this point, once they arrive, you know that she's going to escape. And she hasn't even been in there for the allotted amount of time she was supposed to be yet. Nothing's going to happen. It's not going to cook her alive. She's just going to be in the tanning bed for a little bit too long. They could unplug that motherfucker too. What if he had locked her in the tanning bed and then like set the fucking room on fire or something? There just could have been a little bit more at stake when she was locked in there. But it's a great idea. Oh, fuck. He ain't gonna be a douchebag no mo. Even after losing his hand, homeboy hasn't forgotten. Turns out your memories aren't stored in your right hand. This is a weird take on Peter Pan. Believe you me. Tell us how you really feel. How are they not believing it? I still know is painted in blood on the wall. She's confessing the story about the original accident to all of them right now. So since they didn't know that, I guess I kind of believe their skepticism. But when there's all these dead people and this fucking blood on the wall says I still know, and she says this guy that tried to kill me before is trying to kill me again, how do you not believe her? It's like in the Halloween series when as it progresses, they still don't believe Loomis when he says that something is Michael, even though he's been right every single time before. They're like, nope, he's been right 100% of the time, 5 out of 5. Statistically, this is the time he's going to be wrong. How could you be your best friend? She's known you for maybe 9 months. A year. It's like 20 years old. She makes a best friend in a year. I think it takes a little bit more. Maybe you got low standards for a best friend. Or you've never had a real friend before. Or you don't consider Sarah Michelle Gellar your best friend because she's dead. I suppose that works. If your best friend gets killed, are you allowed to just start up a new best friend relationship from that point? Or do you have to promote one of your current friends to be your new best friend? How does that work? Do they even have the qualifications to be a best friend? He's taking pain pills like they're M&Ms and riding the bus. This lady's giving him judgmental eyes like he's smoking crack in front of preschool kids. So they suspect the like black bellhop dude. Yeah, knock over the lit candles and shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Some crazy shit in here, man.
Never understood people that are destructive just for the sake of it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. This is a fucking killer.
Unless it's something of no consequence. You know, like when you have old burnt out lighting tubes and you take them out in the parking lot and smash them into the dumpster, or, you know, if you want to hit a log with a fucking axe and just let out some aggression, that's perfectly fine. That can be cathartic and it's a great way to relieve that pent up energy. But people who want to walk into a room and just slime everything off the table onto the floor, or who get frustrated playing a video game and throw their fucking controller across the room, I don't have time for those people. Unbelievable amount of books and shit in here. Pretty believable. And he's got the beads hanging down that look like Brandy's hair. Twinning. See him behind them? Brandy's strands of hair all hanging up back there.
We're missing a hair tie.
That's mine.
What about a toothbrush?
So this is all just a swerve for the characters because we know that it's Ben Willis. This black dude wouldn't be dressing up in his slicker and killing them with a hook hand. He's collecting car parts. He's gonna build a body. Scratch your back on this log like a bear. And we'll be right there. That rhymes. I told you I do that all the time. I believe that he's down here. The globe is spinning. She's going to walk over there and she's going to realize, or he's going to tell her, that the capital of Brazil is Brasilia, not Rio. And that's when she's going to start to realize that it's all been a setup. She was brought there for this final showdown on purpose. At this point in the commentary, I don't think that I've had too much clever to say, and I apologize. It's a risky run, especially on a movie like this that I haven't seen in 15 years, and one that has some lulls in it. I'm doing my best, though. Damn, man, why you hiding behind the counter like a creeper? He had fallen down and he just got up. Why did you wait so long to tell them?
Bullshit, we've seen the voodoo stuff.
Why did you not tell anybody? These are creepy decisions.
Come on, Julie, you saw his room.
I haven't hurt anyone. I stole those things to help you. To protect you.
Easily.
It's not going to work for all of us.
Jesus Christ, we didn't even answer the radio question right. This whole thing was a setup. What are you talking about? Rio isn't the capital of Brazil. Sorry, wrong answer. We lose.
So then where is he, huh? Where's this Ben Willis guy, huh?
I don't know.
Hiding in the shadows.
We were supposed to just trust you, huh? How we know you ain't the one who set this whole thing up?
How do we know that you're not?
See, when you try to connect the dots and have this lineage calling back that far, gets a little bit
No, he's not setting us up.
so. He is a fisherman. Why would he have worked at this hotel?
We're gonna be better off in the open, and if we stick together, maybe we can kill this asshole for good.
Show us.
It's still storming like a motherfucker out there. Can't get no reception on the TV. Oh, this is Freddie Prinze trying to get a ferry ride to the island.
I need to get to Tower Bay Island.
What for?
I need to get to that island now.
Let me ask you something, sport.
His acting is more improved in this. He's not acting as, he doesn't have to act as scared. The character isn't written that way. He's more on top of his game, handling his business, running shit, doing what he has to do. So I feel like the more that I think about it, the decision for him to overact in the first one, I feel like was made on purpose. I feel like it was a conscious decision either by him or the direction he was given to have him really overact his reactions, especially his face. He just looks like a little kid that's afraid of the dark in so many scenes in that first one. And he's pulling off the seriousness in this one a lot better.
Julie, be careful.
Julie. I never remember her name. It's not branded as well as like Sidney Prescott or Laurie Strode. She's Julie, but she's Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh. I forgot this bit. So there's gravestones. And Julie James is spray painted on one, and there's a whole grave dug up.
What's today, Steve? July 4th.
1998. Oh, we have the arms out screaming at the sky moment. Exactly like the last one. What are you waiting for? But the other two were girl names with the last name Willis. So was that a wife and daughter? He's got to run off and be unaccounted for because he's involved. I think he does a fake rescue double cross later on, if I remember right. We'll see. This is the story room. How about some ice cream? You like ice cream, Doc? You need all of... The little one would work okay, but you gotta get close. Get a fucking pan, too, and use it as a shield. You really up your ability to combat this motherfucker if you got that shield. Get a frying pan. Put that frying pan out in front of you, deflect his shot, come over the top. Good. Son. Y'all got Kool-Aid, no sugar, ham, no burger? I'm out of here. He knows. He recognizes him because he's Ben's son. So apparently Ben worked here. There was some kind of a murder or something or other that happened to his wife and daughter, and that's the son, all grown up now. And this dude worked there way back when, so he recognizes the son. Just clocked him over the head with an oar.
Stop trying to act like you ain't hungry.
He's looking for something to eat. I don't know if my adrenaline would allow me to eat in that situation, but I'd be hungry as a motherfucker afterwards. Go to Denny's and eat a whole lumberjack slam. Go to the school cafeteria and get a double order of mashed potatoes and turkey gravy with all the rolls. No. Oh shit. I forgot about her. She's been hiding out in the walk-in. She just clocked him with a rolling pin. That's concussion status. It's fucking arm brace. I just can't figure it out. He's driving the boat. I guess he's a fisherman. He's a man on a mission. After this, she better fucking marry him and suck his dick 3 times a week. This is some devotion here. He is coming to save your life. Hopefully nobody else does it first, because then that's going to be a wasted trip. You really got to consider his needs. At this point, he needs to save the day. Look at how far he's come.
I'm sorry. I must have missed the sign.
Excuse me, but this place didn't have a murder rate until you people showed up.
Fair enough. But what do you mean by you people?
I've never seen it.
Do you get away with saying that because you're a little bit dark?
Yeah, get used to it. Who's doing this?
Eventually, there will be no white people.
It's a long, fucked up story.
It's just that's the scientific, biological fact of the matter.
Tired, I'm hungry.
Like there was Neanderthals, and they existed
Haven't seen one cat
before humans. They predate humans. Oh shit! Out of the ceiling with the hook through the neck. Ballin'! That blood looked fake as hell, though. It was digital. The thing through the neck and the blood was digital. We thought we were better at that kind of stuff than we were then, and it really stands out. Instead of going with an actual effect or a prosthetic, they just put it in there with a computer. And the way that it falls, and there's just the gleam on the hook wasn't quite right. It's whatever. Anyway, what I was saying is about Neanderthals is we thought that we wiped them out, like we just murdered them and made them extinct, or drove them out until they starved to death. But essentially what happens is we did definitely kill some. There was warring. But we essentially just bred them into extinction. They mixed in with the human population until most of their characteristics were completely gone. And so there's a lot of people that are a small percent Neanderthal. And that's kind of what will happen with most, races. Eventually everything will just be a mixture, because somewhere down the line you just can't, it's just not maintainable.
You sick freak.
Legit sick freak. Got her foot stuck in like the damn bamboo roof. So Mekhi Phifer's gone. Freddie Prinze Jr., I wonder if he had limited availability for this movie. That just hit me. But the way that they use him, and they just kind of have these touch-in sequences, and then he kind of meets up with the storyline at the end of the movie. They did that with Neve Campbell in Scream 2, and it was because she had limited availability. So they had to kind of string the story along without her in it, and then have her come into the picture at the end. She's never gonna make it with that attitude. You're supposed to help her. This shit, the walking around on a glass roof, ceiling, it's both. One side of the glass is the roof and one side's the ceiling. But this would be scary as hell, because you're pretty sure you're gonna break it and fall through, and then there's just gonna be broken pieces of glass falling everywhere, under you, around you, on top of you. Maybe walk on the center portions where they're mounted in and not step directly on the glass. And definitely don't step on one piece of glass with 2 feet. How dumb are you? Wow. They took a situation that could have played out very well, and they made her do the dumbest shit possible. And they made it goofy. In with them titties bouncing. They put it out there. What do you want from me? It's got an ice cube on her chest. She's finna have sexy time. Oh, the backache you're gonna have tomorrow. You might have a concussion too, depending on how you landed. You probably have a concussion just from the snap of your head. It's a greenhouse in a rainforest? I'm confused. A little more urgency. You're probably in shock. I know you just woke up. No, you won't. You never say I'll live, because then you won't live. I'll be right back. Helpless is a great feeling to capitalize on if you're trying to create a scary scenario. So, while Brandy's not completely helpless, she could try to maneuver, try to fight back. It's really Jennifer Love Hewitt and the other girl that are helpless to prevent her murder, except for digging through all these keys trying to get this padlock open, and the urgency and the anxiety that it creates is very effective. There we go. That was a half-ass swing if I've ever seen one. The full shot of her swinging the axe is pretty ridiculous. It looks like she's trying to swing a 50-pound sledgehammer. She's lifting it 2 inches above the... That didn't make it through her shoe. A dull hook. Where we're going, we don't need roads. What is this, a storm shelter? Or just a storage shed? It's badass, whatever it is. Be an excellent office. What? I'm sorry. You would be able to tell that you were not holding a live person's hand. It would be cold, it'd be lifeless. It does not feel the same at all. There's absolutely no resistance. It's completely limp. I'm speaking from experience. Very shortly after a person passes away, you can noticeably tell the difference in the surface temperature of their skin. It's like, it seems like it's immediately. It's within 15 minutes, a half hour. And just the lack of reaction, every single muscle is completely relaxed. There's no resistance or stiffness. So between that and the temperature feedback, it would be quite obvious that you were holding a dead person's hand.
Jesus, you're bleeding to death. We need to find a first aid kit. I think there's one in the lobby. Okay, just sit there. Oh,
Don't worry, he's gone. Just go and be okay.
Who's bleeding to death?
You're gonna be okay, alright? Jesus, there's blood everywhere.
It's not his blood. That's who they think is going to bleed to death. Now here's the reveal and the turn. It's a very Billy Loomis-like turn. He's not her boyfriend in this, but he's trying to be. And now he turns to the psychopath. So, adding in the weird backstory with the killer working at this resort and the dead wife and daughter, and now this being his son in this turn that's very Billy Loomis like. I don't like the family and this guy, the son aspect mixed in. I don't like it when my monolithic horror stars, slashers, have partners in crime or controllers or helpers, anything of that nature. No thorn cults, no fucking overseers, no protectors. Scream is different because they were never a one. It was never a one-man thing, at least not initially. In Scream 3, it becomes a one-man thing. But when you have a guy who you're trying to create this franchise kind of around as the slicker in this distinct outfit with this distinct weapon, I don't like mixing in that his son is suddenly helping him when we're only 2 movies deep. This is the first sequel and you're already mixing this bullshit in. Now you're gonna die with this old dude on top of you. Slowly. Where the fuck is he taking her? Marsha. The rest of them. We know that his dad was a killer before they ever hit him with the car, because he killed the David Egan character in the first one. So is he inferring that they've killed many people over a long period of time? Because I could buy into that. And we could have even gone back and done prequels. Who knows? Oh, and his last name is Benson. He's been hiding in plain sight, burying the lead. He's Ben's son. See what he did there? You see what he did? Remember, dear, I can smell a lie like a fart in a car. God damn it. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm coughing so much. Maybe I should have taken a day off and not recorded this. As I light another cigarette. Smoking's not a choice, it's an addiction. Nah, it's still a choice, but... Oh, did you make sure that was a gun that could shoot when it was wet? Looks pretty old school. Was that like a snub nose 38? The final kind of culminating scene chases don't pay off as well as they should. The first one is pretty good, but the way that the killer actually dies and goes off into the water, I thought was a little lackluster. And then this ending, once it's revealed that he's the son, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. shows up, feels a little underdramatic. Spectacularly executed plan, though. But it's the son thing. Just, if there was a son, why wasn't he helping him in the first one? If they were these killers, and they had this history of doing this, and he was already such a bad guy, why didn't this baby-faced fuck show up in the first movie to help him kill these teens after they put him in the hospital with their car? It's like saying that Laurie is Michael's sister in the second movie when clearly there was no baby in that house in the first movie. So that's about it. Ben accidentally kills his own son with the hook, and then she shoots him 6 times with a snub nose, and he falls into the grave that had been dug by Ben for Julie, and he sinks into the mud. Devil came down to Georgia, was looking for a soul to steal. So you get the feeling he's definitely dead there. He doesn't have superhuman aspects to him, it doesn't seem. So to get shot that many times and fall into the grave, you tend to believe that he's dead at this point. So maybe they didn't want to extend it into farther sequels. But it's hard to believe that if it had been tremendously successful, that they wouldn't have done it anyway. It's kind of undeniable. They've swerved us that way a couple times with the Halloween franchise. They promote it and market it as if it's the last one. But then when it gets big numbers, they say, fuck it, we're making another one. And they just go ahead and do that because they know that they can make money on the next one too. And that's what the business side of Hollywood's all about, is just the making money on the next one. You had a divergence in the 2000s where TV started becoming the interesting, more developed characters and pieces that weren't meant to reach such a broad audience. They were more specific and focused. The Sopranos, things of that sort. And movies started turning into everything being a comic book or a Harry Potter or this big CGI fucking production that you're going to draw families and everybody in. And that's the direction that it's kind of kept going. So how do they wrap shit up here? She's gonna get a piece of mail that says, I still know what I still knew before, what I haven't forgotten yet. The fucking title. You gotta come up with a better title.
Hey, I almost fell asleep on the couch.
Now we're watching Fred TV. He's flexing his biceps while he brushes his teeth.
You're gonna watch again.
You know me too well.
You dare go to sleep, girl.
They finally got their picket fence life. That looks good about now. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm ready to crawl into bed. We have good time. I am a sex machine.
Ray?
Would you like to touch my penis? So now she hears a noise. She's gonna go and investigate. This is very similar to the ending of the first one. Different setting, but the overall feel and what's happening. It's you think he's dead, it's supposed to be over, and now she is suspicious of something, and we're gonna get a jump scare. The door just shut behind Freddy while he was spitting out his toothpaste. There was a window open upstairs and there's muddy boot prints inside. Now we're getting into a little bit of unbelievable domain if this motherfucker's supposed to still be alive. How long did he lay in that muddy coffin and let them clear out before he decided to leave? Where did he go to get treated for his gunshot wounds? How did he explain them? Why doesn't she have weapons? Weapons, goddammit, weapons! Hand-to-hand combat training and fucking weapons! She should know jiu-jitsu, she should know some mild kickboxing, and she should have weapons. See, another he gets her at the end moment. But we did that in the last one and then just said, never mind, didn't happen. Gotcha, psych. So that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Or I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Sorry. This is I Still Know What You Did Last Summer again, twice. So I kind of addressed it throughout the course of the commentary. There were certain pieces there that could have been effective. But it seemed rushed, underdeveloped, and a couple of the choices that they made drove it into the ground. And then to do an ending that's almost exactly the same as the ending of the last one, where he miraculously survives, finds her and pulls her under the bed or jumps out of the glass to get her, feels corny, overdone. And if you're planning on keeping going, like, I don't know what you would title the next movie. Feels like they didn't really want to make a next movie. It's okay to watch. I mean, it doesn't call to me. I don't yearn to watch it. Like I said, I haven't watched it in at least 10 years. But it's a decent watch every once in a while. Especially if you're just looking for some mindless, just zone out into a horror movie. You're not looking to think too much. It's all right. I'd probably give it like a 6. It's a 5.5 maybe. Ben's son, you get it. So I appreciate you guys sticking through all my coughing. As we're coming to the end of this, I'm not feeling like it was the strongest podcast. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I often don't remember what I said. It doesn't feel like I had a lot to say during this, but that could just be a little bit of the sickness fucking with me. Uber apologetic about the coughing and all that. Hopefully it's listenable. Appreciate you sticking through. Appreciate you listening, watching on YouTube, listening to the podcast. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Check me out on Instagram at Avarice Trading. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying be easy.